By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm taking your calls and talking all things sex and relationships. Topics include how to reawaken sexual attraction over the long term, learning to love your vagina inside and out, why taking time to work on yourself after a divorce is a crucial opportunity for growth, and the sexy benefits of shifting from talking to showing when it comes to sharing your desires. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to our website, check it out. It's a good time. We've got all of our podcasts. Ooh, we've got a really great blog we put up that is Best Podcast of 2017, a sexy year in review. So you can check out our best podcasts of 2017. Please note, yes, there is anal. Anal is mentioned in several of them. You guys really like the anal. In fact, I called it the year of anal licking, and I think I was right because licking is a thing. I've had several requests, not personally, but friends and friends of friends, acquaintances. They're all like, hey, Emily, so what's with rimming? What's with licking? So I do think there's more anal happening. So anyway, they're not all about anal though. It's all of our best shows. If you missed them this year, they're our favorite shows from the year, our most popular shows. So check that out on the website along with all the other fun content we have on there to help you have a better life, better sex and relationships. And as always, follow me on social media. It's all at Sex with Emily on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. And I love hearing from you guys. Also, you guys, our contest, you have 2 more days to be a part of our Better Lover 2018. So I want to know, how are you going to be a better lover this year? Like, think about it. Like, what would you like to change in your relationship? How's your sex life now? And in a year from now, what would you like to see happen? Maybe you want to get over the ejaculation orgasm rollover. You're like, oh, that's boring. I'd like to do something else. Or maybe you want to ask for what you want in bed or masturbate more. We want to hear from you. Email it, feedback@sexwithemily.com with the subject Better Lover 2018 to enter our contest. We'll pick 4 of you to receive a sexy package by January 14th. So do that. We want to give you prizes and we want you to have better sex. So speaking of better sex and relationships, there was an article that came out. Headline, ready? Many couples had the same complaint about their sex lives. And it ain't that hard to fix. You're still going to have challenges, but this is something that you know how strongly I feel about this. And I want you guys to really, really, really hear this. That in a long-term relationship, it is biologically, evolutionarily, physically, this is proven across the board that over time, the romance and the passion is going to fade. It is like clockwork. You know, I've said it's 6 months to 2 years is the honeymoon phase. Like, that's legit, you guys. But the problem, the struggle that couples have is that you guys think you're the first ones to ever happen to. You're like, oh my God, we've been together. And guess what? It's not the same as it was when we were on drugs, which is what you are essentially on drugs when you're falling in love with someone. The serotonin, the adrenaline, oxytocin, all that stuff makes you feel like you're on drugs. It's a good drug because you're in love and the sex is amazing, but that is going to change. In fact, everything changes in life. Life is about impermanence, right? it is true that we're comfortable in our comfortable places, right? So we like having our regular TV shows, and we like going to the same restaurants, and we like, routine and familiarity. And it feels really good to have a partner to do all those things with. But sometimes, that also can become a little stale. So there have been multiple studies that show that when you do something different, like you know what? Let's not go to a movie on Saturday night, but let's take a dance class, or let's go hiking on Saturday. Something that uses adrenaline. You get that same adrenaline going when you're doing something active with your partner. And the other thing I want to just note here is that accept the fact that you're going to have challenges and that a marriage is likely to change and shape multiple times, or a committed relationship over the course of your lifetime. Like, it's going to be, sometimes you're going to want sex more often than your partner is, and it's going to switch, sometimes not at all. You're going to be in an experimental phase. You're going to be in a not having sex phase. And the only thing I can tell you about dealing with these situations when they come up in these different phases is accepting them and saying, you know what? This is normal. This happens in all relationships, just like getting sick, just like getting the flu. You're going to get sick. Your sex life is going to get sick too. But the best thing you can do is know that, accept it, and say, you know what? We're in one of those slumps, babe. Let's talk about what to do. Because then it becomes both of your challenges, not just one person emailing me and saying, what do I do about it? So know that you're all fine. The easy fix is accepting it. That was easy, right? I just solved your problem. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. They're awesome, and so are you. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, now we're going to go on to your calls. I love talking to you guys. This is I'm excited. I came in, I'm like, yay, we get to talk. If you have a question you want me to answer, just text Ask Emily, all one word, to 797979. And then you get a link back, and you can just send your question that way. You can also go to sexwithemily.com via the Ask Emily tab. And as always, include information that's going to help me help you, your gender, your age, where you live, and how you listen to the show. Our next call is David. He's 37 from Texas, and he's trying to find the balance in dating to not be lonely versus taking time to discover what he really wants. And he's seeking some advice. Hi, David.
Hi, Emily. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for calling in. So tell me a little bit about what's going on right now.
Well, sure. I had a breakup about a month ago with a girl I'd been with for 2 years, who I thought was just going to be everything, and I still think the world of her, but when it came to chemistry and kind of physicality, it just wasn't really ever there. I think she was so good at everything else that I thought, okay, this isn't that important.
Right. Did you guys try to work on it?
In the end, she had, I think, some abuse when she was younger.
Okay.
And was very, very timid,
untreated
reserved,
trauma,
shy
yeah,
about that entire subject.
Got it.
And I had some pretty awkward conversations trying to fix it, and
right,
didn't
Got
get
it.
much.
Okay,
That ended, and just looking for the next step, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, and it just ended like a month ago.
Yeah, a month ago, and I just found out about your show, and one of the things you bring up a lot is taking time to be alone.
Right.
Figure out what you want.
I like
I was just curious.
Yeah, what does that mean? I love this question. No, I just read it. And thank you I know you just said you listen to 10 to 15 shows while driving. And I love thinking of you driving to work, listening to Sex with Emily. So I get it. You're right. And you really made me think about it, because I'm always saying, take time for yourself, do you? And it's like, well, what does that really mean? So I was thinking, that's a really great question. So let me explain it to you. So typically, first of all, you were in this 2-year relationship. Have you been in long-term relationships before? What's your relationship history like?
Probably call me a serial monogamist.
Okay.
The girl before her was probably 8 months before that, and that was 2 years. And then I had a long stint where I'm a young lawyer, or was a young lawyer, now I'm old, but I worked a lot and didn't date much at all.
Right. Okay.
And then there have been some other long relationships before that.
Got it. Okay. So what I mean by that is the time that you take when you're not in a relationship and you're not searching, because it takes up a lot of energy, right? So it sounds like when you weren't dating before, you were working, which I can totally relate to, right? Being you're crazy, working, busy. And then you probably are in relationships, out of relationships, and it's always like a cycle that you're going through. So what you realize, though, when you're in that cycle, pretty much most of your life, there's a lot of energy expended trying to find the person, dating the person. God, we all go through that amazing honeymoon phase, right? For 6 months to 2 years. And then we try to get back to that. And then the relationship ends. And then we get into another one. And so it's a lot of our mental and physical energy. So when I say take time, like just say, you know what, I'm going to take dating and even finding someone and even sex off the table for a few months. Let me take a relationship inventory. Let me think about the last relationships these are just some examples. Like, let me think about what I really liked about this partner and what I didn't like and what, maybe it's even your last relationship. And so like, what are the traits that are really like important to you that, the deal breakers and the things that you can't handle and prioritizing those. And then, for a lot of people, when you're 37, it sounds like your career is going well. It could be like getting back into shape, working out, seeing friends, like building up your life so you're in a really strong, independent place in all these other areas. So then when you're out and you start dating again and looking for someone, you're going to be in a much better place because you're going to be a lot clearer about, who David is right now, not coming off of a breakup, not, doing all these other things, but like having space and time to kind of be clear without all the noise of relationships.
To circle back to the original question, okay, well, how do you do that with imbalance, not getting lonely all the time?
Right. Okay. Great question. And so also this is just about being self-aware and looking at your own issues, but how to do that being lonely? What I would say is, well, you mean lonely without a woman, or do you have a lot of friends in Texas, or you just mean like...
Yeah, no,
okay.
I've got a social life and friends, and what it tends to lead to is dating if I spend too much time out with the guys.
So if you are able to, because listen, I'm not all about like take 3 months, never have sex. I'm not about that. If you want to start dating again, or if you want to just start meeting people, what if you really went out with people and you kind of didn't have sex? Like, are you talking about just companionship, or are you like, I need to have sex? Because if you're looking just to like have company and actually meet women without like sex in the back of your mind, but actually get to talk, that's a great practice too. And just say, you know what? I'm not looking for anything right now, but I want to actually sit with women and talk to them without that lens of like, is she the one? Is this going to be the next? This is going to be Mrs. David, but just kind of really, you know what I'm saying? That flips the perspective rather than like we're on a date, is sex going to happen, and just thinking like, because then you're meeting more people. You could still do that. Maybe go on a few dates a week and make them lunches, not dinners. So you're still, and maybe if you like someone, we'll go to a movie sometime. You could still keep seeing them, but maybe don't make it all about the sex, more about like what is resonating with me here with this person. Oh, I really like that we both like the same books, or we like traveling or hiking or whatever it is. And then you can kind of come at it from a different perspective. I don't know if you've done that before. I think a lot of us don't naturally do that.
I don't think guys think of it.
They don't think of it. That's why.
Not try and get laid.
Exactly. And I know I'm telling a man not to get laid, but you're not 20, so you're 37. And I feel like this is the right time to do it. And I think you'll be amazed to see what you have, all this clarity that you're going to have, and you're going to feel, and you're going to kind of understand more about what you like. And it'll kind of be toxic, perhaps, if you run into someone who just isn't aligned with what your values and what you're looking for right now. Whereas right now, if you start dating, having sex, and you just got out of this relationship, it'll feel great to be with someone else because you'll forget the act. You know what I mean? It's tangled. But to actually go out and say, I'm just going to kind of think of this as an experiment. I'm going to ask these questions. These are the things that are important to me. Do they want children, religion? Do we like doing the same things? Like really ask questions and try to like find out, because this is also a way to kind of educate yourself, and it'll make it a lot easier when you go back out there again.
Well, I really appreciate you taking my call.
Well, you're so welcome, David. And I think it's going to be a good year for you. Doesn't it feel good? No pressure now.
For you too.
Okay, thanks. Bye, David. You guys, I really did like that question because, I've been doing this for 13 years. And sometimes I say things like, oh, just take time for yourself. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, I hope that I explain that to all of you, how important it can be to really take that time. And it is not easy. And the other thing I would like to say, if David is listening to this, or to everybody, it's okay to be lonely. And so actually loneliness can actually be a precursor to you really realizing what you truly want in another human. And so it's not so bad. We try to fight off all these negative things, but sometimes it's really good just to be with ourselves. So if you realize that you've been kind of surrounded by people your whole life, or relationships or sex, try to take a little breather. It feels really good. A lot of clarity coming your way. Okay, our next call, we have Ava. She's 28 from Washington, and she's seeking ways to achieve orgasm more quickly with her partner. Hi, Ava.
Hi. So nice to talk to you.
So nice to talk to you, too. Okay, tell me what's going on. Give me some background.
Okay, so I've been with my partner for 2 years now, and I think we just have a lot of communication issues surrounding the topic of sex.
Like everybody, it's okay. That's okay. Exactly. We all do. All right.
Oh, no, you're totally good. I can only achieve orgasm when he performs oral sex on me, but he starts to get neck pain really quickly. And so it's kind of become like a burden, or at least I feel like it is. And I'm not able to achieve orgasm through sex. So that has also been a little bit of a problem. So I was just calling in to see if you had any, tips or tricks.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been together for 2 years, and he says that his neck cramps when he performs oral sex. And how long does he perform the oral sex for before the cramping starts?
It can take anywhere from like half an hour to an hour. So I guess I would just say 45 minutes.
Okay.
Typically.
So at 45 minutes, he's like, I'm out. He taps out. I just thought you were going to say like 2 minutes and I was going to be upset. So 45 minutes, that's a good game.
No.
Okay, good. I'm like, if he's like, babe, okay, so 2 minutes, I'm done. Okay, so 45 minutes. Okay, so here's the other things. Now, when you're masturbating, you said that you can orgasm quickly. Or you can orgasm well. Have you ever shown him how you like to be touched?
Kind of, but I think that it just kind of gets pushed to like the back of the mind when we're in like the middle of it.
Right.
Maybe because he's kind of, just like excited and not really thinking about it in the way that I am. But I feel like I've suggested more things and he has to kind of improve the sex, like for him to touch me or for me to touch myself. But it always has to be like me initiating it. And sometimes it just feels like more work than it's worth.
No, I totally get it. I know. Sometimes we're just like, oh, it's already going. I'll do it next time. And then you don't. So this sounds like, and you really like him, right? Like you love this guy. You're with him and.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you have communication issues. Are you guys talking about sex at all? Like outside the bedroom? Has he said like, I want you to orgasm or what's the deal? And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have. We talk about it. Maybe not as frequently as we should because it seems like the conversations always come after I start to feel frustrated because there's been an incident where he's been going down on me and then he says, oh, my neck's hurting. And, so it's never like comes to a positive place.
So listen, sweetie, having the conversations in the bedroom where you think it would be happening because you're in the bedroom and it's sex is not always the best thing. In fact, I always recommend that people have sex conversations not in the bedroom, not after sex or before sex, but when you're like in a neutral space, maybe you're going on a hike or you're on a road trip somewhere. So your eyes are facing the road and you don't have to look at each other, but you can still have the talk and it doesn't spill into sex so that it becomes attached to the actual act. So it's frustration or coming out in the way that you don't want it to. So it's really about timing and location and then tone. So going into it with your partner, you want to make sure that it's, it's positive and that you like being with him and you like your relationship, but you want to talk to him about your sex life and about orgasm. And he knows that you get frustrated and it's not that you blame him, but what you could say is, what I realize is that I haven't really shown you what makes me feel good and what you could do. And so let me tell you. And so I think what I'd recommend is a few things. First, mutual masturbation. If you guys haven't done it, I know you might think this is like hard to even bring up, but it's really hot just to watch each other because then he can see how you touch yourself, where your fingers go, what you do, what that movement is. He could even place his hand over yours and you can watch him masturbate too. So then you know what he does, whatever. It's always good to learn that information, what our partner does. So that's one way. The other thing is like, do you masturbate with a vibrator?
I have, but usually no, I don't.
Oh, okay. So you use your fingers.
Yes.
So you could also show him. First of all, just so you know, like most women don't orgasm during intercourse alone. I'd say only 30% do. And of those, it's not every single time. And the reason is because women require more clitoral stimulation. And so I feel like this is what's happening to you is that you're just not getting that kind that you need. And so even when he's going down on you, what if you touched yourself to kind of help him, to aid him along and to see what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
We've tried that a few times. I've tried that. I just feel like it kind of has to come from him. Like maybe it's a position that we're in, but it feels like there's it's kind of tricky to get into the position. Otherwise it feels kind of like crowded. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. I feel like you can find the position together. Here's the thing. And I feel like when in my 20s, I thought like if I touched myself, maybe like a guy would think that was weird or he would judge me or think, God, why does she know her body so well? But I'm telling you universally, it's really hot to watch your part. Like I think he'd be very turned on by you like saying, this is what I do when I masturbate and let me show you. And he'll find the position. Get him a neck pillow. Maybe you guys could do 69 or something, right? I mean, or he could flip the other way. Like if you could sit on his face. Do you ever sit on his face? Then he's comfy. Get him a really good, what are the pillows called? The The Tempur-Pedic pillow?
Oh, Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah. Have them just lay back and you sit. You can still hold yourself up with your knees, but I'm saying there's ways around this. Here's the good news, sweetie. You can have orgasms. You're with a partner who wants to please you. 45 minutes that's significant. That's a good amount of time. And so really, you've got all the ingredients. It's really just get out of your head that he's got to initiate it and that he's got to be the one and that you're going to have to initiate this because he's a man and it sounds like his penis is working fine and it's all good, right? Not that he doesn't love you, but he doesn't get all the intricacies, with women and how it's the orgasm and maybe the reason why you haven't been able to in the 45 minutes is because you weren't the time before and then you're thinking in your head going, am I going to orgasm? So it gets really tricky up there, right? So I feel like you just got to experiment with some of these things. How does that sound?
That sounds good. I think part of the issue is like even when I'm like sitting on a stage for 69, it's like a neck motion issue.
Okay.
Like where he's not able to like be mobile enough. You know what I mean? Does he
have neck problems or just during this?
No, I think it's just that amount of time kind of like builds up tension.
Okay, so here's the thing: no one says it has to be so linear either. Like you could have intercourse, he could go down on you. You could use a toy. I mean, you could use your fingers, then he uses his mouth, then you get back on. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems very you could have a lot more fun with this. I feel like you're taking this seriously now, and I want you guys to mix this up and have some fun and throw caution to the wind and maybe get like a hotel room one night or do it in the other room or wear something that makes you feel sexy or play some different music and make this fun. Like bring some like spice to this that will turn you on and you're going to be able to find the positions and the moves that work for you. I promise.
Okay.
Okay? You got this.
Just
keep trying things because you're very close. Okay, you're welcome. Bye, Ava. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys, about orgasms and sex. It's sometimes we have to use words. Sometimes we have to show. It's like show and tell. Don't be afraid to use all the tools that you have available to demonstrate to your partner what you need. You guys, life is too short to suffer through bad sex because it didn't feel right in the moment or it wasn't the right time or the right day. It's always the right time to talk to your partner about having bad sex. Always. And so thinking about this too, Ava, if you're listening to this, about your guy, I'm thinking about these crazy neck movements. Like, is he bopping up and down? Like, is he moving back and forth? Maybe he could just kind of relax a little bit and just get some more tongue movements in there because the tongue is like, and tongues and fingers too. Using his tongue lightly for a lot of women, they like a lighter touch anyway. So he could just like swirl his tongue around, use some fingers. So why don't you help him with this, figuring that out? I think that's another thing so he can be comfy there on the pillow and just keep going. Okay, our next call is Rena. She's 24 from Florida, and she's self-conscious about her outie vagina. Rena, hi. Let's talk about it. So funny
to hear that.
I know, right? No, yeah. Okay, tell me what's going on. You said this started bothering you recently.
I know you get calls about guys and talking about their privates all the time, and here I am like, oh my gosh, like, am I normal? Is my vagina normal? But I guess I'm a little self-conscious because it doesn't look like everyone else's, but I haven't seen that many vaginas in my life. So.
Right. How is this like manifesting right now? Like, are you not able to like touch yourself or masturbate? Do you not want to have sex? Like, what level are we at? Are you just kind of curious?
No,
yeah.
Touching myself is fine.
Okay, good.
Because I've been traveling for about 6 months. Okay. And this self-conscious thing is like a new phenomenon in me. Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know if it's because I've been hooking up with different guys from like all over the world. So it's like...
Yeah, and they've got different penises, right? You have some circumcised, uncircumcised penises, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think that guys all over the world...
Know if it's just like...
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe just you have a lot of time. You're traveling. I went traveling too for like 6 months. A long time ago, but I get it. You're on the road.
Yeah, so
I get it. You got a lot of time to think.
Just that.
Listen.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I've been finding myself to be like really attractive to a guy. And I'm like, I'm not going to hook up with him because like, what if he thinks like my vagina's weird?
Oh, there.
Like,
okay. Right. Okay. I'm so glad.
That is a brand new thought in my head.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to get rid of it. I'm going, if I could surgically remove that from you right now, I would, but I'm going to do my best to let you know that it's just a story that you're telling yourself that is not true, not based anywhere in any reality. And just like there could be a man who's like, oh, I only want a woman with large boobs and maybe you have smaller boobs, or I want a guy who has a big penis, and we're all going to have things that we like or don't like about partners. But what you're told, I'm saying, like, sure, that could happen. There might be something, but I mean, really, of all the times, like, first of all, you wouldn't want to be with a guy if that was even their thing, right? Like, I wouldn't want to be the guy who's like, oh, I only want whatever. Like, that's not your guy. The thing about having like the negative body image and thinking that like it's unattractive, it can undermine your sexual confidence. And so that's, you know,
yeah,
and
because all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like you start second guessing yourself, or like you lose the being in the moment thing. And you're like, oh my gosh, like
So I think we got to get you into some mindfulness practice and some mindful masturbation practice if you can, if you've like staying in rooms by yourself. But really it's like looking in the mirror, like touching your body, loving your body, and just having these messages in your head, like the goddess, like, because that's really what we all are, like as women, like your body is this beautiful thing. It has so much,
really,
so much like sexual energy and power and all this stuff. And like, that is the last, like I'm telling you, any guy who is having sex with you is going to be thinking, I am so friggin' psyched that I get to have sex with her right now. He's not thinking about that. And if like, I mean, really, nobody talked about this years ago before porn. And the truth is every vagina is different. You put 100 women in a room, not only will they all be masturbating or touching themselves differently, but everybody will look differently. So this is just something like, I think like your vagina is like totally fine. It's normal. It's the confidence and it's the thoughts. But luckily, this is very new. So we can just kind of replace those thoughts with you being in the moment and thinking about what. So if you find yourself in sex floating off to like, is he looking at me funny? If you can kind of have a thought that you go
like
back
in the
into.
Beginning, in the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, am I going to do this?
It can really impact your sex life too, you know, your self-esteem. So I'm just saying, the more you can be with a guy in the moment, be like, I'm going to go back to what it feels like to be kissing him right now, or what it feels like to have him inside me, and what are the sounds outside, or what am I smelling? Like, get all the senses so you're not distracted by thoughts. Like, we just want to get rid of those thoughts because they'll go away because they're very new. They're not even real. They're not based in any reality at all. So I wish. Like,
it's just like a thing. It's one of the things that we make up in our head, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, this is not even a thing. Like, I've never even heard of like. Yeah, you hear guys talking about whatever, but I've never heard this. I've never heard a guy say I broke up with her because of this or it was a thing. But that doesn't even. And if he did, this like again, this is not be the person that you want to be with. But this is not a real concern.
Not a guy that
I'm going to tell you, right? It's really not. Like truly, like thank God. If guys a dick to you about this, like thank God he showed you right away, not your man. But you're going to find so many men. This won't even be a thing. And I'm going to argue right now that this actually won't even come up for you again. Like I don't think this ever will. Like I think we've just like. Because it's not even a real story, so I don't even want to spend time. Like, it's about confidence, and it's about your self-esteem. And so if you can just switch these thoughts and go back to, like, feeling really sexual again, fantasize about great sexual moments you've had in the past, and, like, get that esteem back up, and masturbation is a great way to do that as well. Like, really appreciating your body and what it can do, and, like, filling yourself with, like, these positive thoughts, and kind of playing that sensation game when you're having sex so the thoughts go away. It's basically gone.
It really does all come down to like confidence. So hearing this come from you, I'm just like, okay, it like reaffirms.
Oh, good, honey.
You know,
that is it. Because it's, I mean, there's nothing else to say except for you got this. Your vagina is beautiful. It is a gift, and you got nothing to worry about.
It is a gift. It's such a divine gift.
Thank
you.
Yeah. And if it comes back again, like listen to the show, call me back. But I want this to be gone. It's 2018. It's a new year. Your vagina is amazing. So take care of you.
You're the best.
Okay. You too, sweetie. Thanks for calling. Have a great night. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, you guys, it really is about confidence. Really, sexual confidence is so important. And when we don't have it for whatever reason, performance issues, we feel like we gained 2 pounds, we lost too much weight, whatever it is, we all take these thoughts into the bedroom, and then sometimes they carry us throughout our lives. And the second you can recognize those thoughts and realize, oh, that thought, that came from me. That is me. I'm telling myself these thoughts. It's not true, not based in reality. We get rid of it. We go back into our bodies. We don't have to let these thoughts control us, because it really just like pisses me off that our bodies can have so much pleasure, and they're so beautiful, and they're such a gift, and they're all working, and we worry about it. So if you're polluting yourself right now with any negative thoughts and you feel them, like, I think you should throw them out the window right now with Rena, because all of our bodies are beautiful and we can all have incredible sex. I promise you. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that inspired you right now to send me an email or text me with your questions and call into the show. And thanks for subscribing on iTunes and reviewing the show. And thank you to my amazing team, Ken, Jamie, our intern Shannon, Jenny, producer Lark, and Michael. Thanks. I love you all. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.